Alright, I'm gonna start off by saying Kahali Hawa, Bashimi Hawashai, Wahal Kadash Waka, Wabarakatam. Okay, Yahweh being the name of the true Heavenly Father, Yahushai being the name of the Son. When you go into the Hebrew, and you look at Joshua, Joshua says the same name as so-called Jesus. And when you break it down, H3091, and you break it down in the Paleo Hebrew, you come up with Yahushai. Okay? And the Kadash Rawaka, Kadash meaning holy, Rawaka meaning spirit. Some people call it Rakah Kadash, spirit that is holy. Alright, Rakah does not mean holy. Kadash means holy. When you go back into that Lord's Prayer, Kadash means holy. Okay? Of course, when I get double honors to GMS, that taught me this truth, who broke down these scriptures to me, who brought me from a desolate mind state into the rivers of living water, this truth, of course, everything through the Kadash Rawaka. Alright? Shalom to the full elect. Shalom to my brothers and sisters out there pushing this word with all sincerity. Alright, so it's a little brother here, Shema Shalom, and I wanted to go over this article here. 52% of young adults in the U.S. are living with their parents. That's the highest share since the Great Depression. So I'm not going to read this article. A lot of them are the same. They talk about the same things. You could read this one. There's a Pew article. But essentially, they found with data that 52% of growing adults are living at home with their parents for the first time. Not for the first time, but during this pandemic. But it's also before that as well. All right, and most of it, and when you read the articles, is due to economic issues. It's due to the rising inflation. It's due to the rising taxes, the rising cost of getting a home, the high rental prices. And I live in New York, so even living in the projects, it costs like $2,000, which the Wadi Hell by Shimi Hashai, I don't live in the projects. But even if I was to just try to live out and go off on my own, I could be paying $2,000 to $3,000 in rent, even if I do get an apartment in, say, a nice neighborhood like the Heights or something. I could be paying out the ass, right? And even if I did get a job, right? Even if I did get a job, it just wouldn't be enough, because I have a diploma and I have 2 years of college, and my parents are pretty much forced. My parent is forcing me. My mom is forcing me to go back. All right, which eventually they'll kick me out because I don't want to take the thing. You know what the thing is. All right, and I also don't want to take the RFIDs when that comes out. So eventually they're gonna kick me out. Eventually, I'm gonna have to run away from home. That's just the way it is. But my point is that in these times, man, you got a lot of kids living at home. It's just there's no winning here, and a lot of children are complaining about it. A lot of children my age are dealing with things such as depression, and they're going through it because it's kind of disheartening that you just have to be stuck at home with your mom, and I go through it all the time. Like, I want to have financial independence. I want to be able to defend and go off on my own. So I pray to Yahweh by Shimi Hawashai. And if you're my age, pray to Yahweh by Shimi Hawashai that whatever talent you got, that He'll magnify it and allow you to, gain whatever little bread that you need so you can have enough to survive, so that you can be able to, if you want to be like me, my goal is to be able to get into a camp. I know some guys that are not too far. They're like an hour by train, but the problem just has been bread, So, of course, pray to Yahweh by Shimi Hawashai for anything you need, But look at this. I'm going to go look at another article, then we're going to get some scriptures. I don't want to rant too much longer. So, how millennials and their retired parents are living together and making it work. So they know what's going on. They know that there's rising inflation rates. They know they've been printing money and lowering the value of the dollar. Then prices have been going through the roof. That these kids have no way of affording it. Because even if you go to college, if you're a freshman in these years, man, you got it rough. Because as a freshie, you're gonna be in there for 4 years. That means 4 years of financial dependence. Okay, that means 4 years where you'll be making maybe $1,000 if you're working during college. There's usually a cap on it. Like for my school, there's like a 2,000, no, not 2,000, like $1,500 cap. So you're really not making that much money. Like even if you had like a, I don't know, like a job at like McDonald's or something that paid $20,000 a year, in those 4 years, you could be making up to like 50,000. Barring expenses. $50,000 to $60,000, barring like little expenses that you need. Like say if you wanted shoes, or if you wanted to, if you had to pay rent, if you're living with your mom, um, you know. So you actually make more doing that, and then if you start a business on the side, then you can make even more money on top of that, you know, doing something that you love to do. All right, so we're gonna read this. Being a millennial is no easy feat. Not only are they plagued with astronomical student loan debt, an average of $33,000 per borrower, all right, which a lot of college students deal with that. I've been blessed where, you know, um, I got a couple scholarships, and I don't really have to pay that much. My mom it's affordable. The school I go to, it's affordable. About 60% of millennials expect that they will need to change their job or industry at least once over the next 10 years. They're dealing with this during the time which career longevity is drastically dwindling, and experts assert that wages after inflation have barely budged in the last 44 years. Exactly. The jobs have been really desperate. They've been accepting people who probably don't have the best um, qualifications and letting them do on-the-job training. But they're doing that for now. The minute they try to get some things back in order, which they will because they need to push in that MOB. Once things, or they had the illusion of things getting back in order, and they raise those requirements again. And those guys that were, college dudes with PhDs, they're gonna come back in and they're gonna go take your job, So it just is what it is. Because right now those guys have been overqualified for their positions, but there's gonna come to a point, in my opinion, that these damn devils are gonna switch things back again just to f you guys over. And experts assert that wages after inflation have barely budged in 44 years. So while their parents could afford to buy a home on a regular salary, these days nearly 70% of millennials say they cannot afford a home due to rising prices. That's a fact. These homes are like, some of them they aren't even that good. Are going for like 200,000, 400,000. All right, these kids don't have that kind of money. I mean, I know you can get a bank loan, which is a mortgage. I don't really know about it entirely, but I know some loose things. You can get a loan on that, but they ain't gonna be able to fucking pay that shit back. Even if they have to pay it back a little at a time, like, because they can lose their job just like that. And there's been data showing that more people living paycheck to paycheck. All right. For this reason, many millennials often move back home with their parents. Many of them, and definitely in previous generation, moving back home may have been considered as a sign of failure, but these days it's a way millennials and retirees like to save money throughout together. Okay, well, the rest of the article talks about the so-called benefits: saving money, splitting chores, low cost meals, career flexibility. All this stuff is really maddening. All right, because what they don't talk about is how hard it is living with a parent at home. It's very difficult, having to, especially if your house isn't that big, or you have like one bathroom. It's really difficult living with a parent, and kind of some days you just like it's just taxing. You just feel like a fucking slave. And some days you just feel like you just can't get out of it. But as I said, I just pray on it, and may Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai bless you. Brakatah. Alright. So we're gonna get some scriptures now. I think I talked about this enough. They made some lies about the so-called benefits. There's really not any benefits at all. This is Matthew chapter 10, which 34. Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and a daughter against his mother, and a daughter-in-law against his mother-in-law, against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. He that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Okay? And he that taketh not his cross fall after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it. He that loses his life for my sake shall find it. Okay, so what's that going into? First and foremost, I come from a so-called Christian household. Right? I don't want to really rant too long, but I grew up so-called Baptist, right, which is just being a Nicolaitan. Okay, and as I got older and when I became 18, I found this truth while I was still studying at college there in person, and it just kind of changed everything. When I started to really learn the truth, then my mom, we started to argue because she was like, oh, I would try to tell her the truth. I would try to bring it to her, and she would just always buck up against me, say this, say that, and I would try to explain like so-called Jesus is not coming back to send peace. Peace is not coming. That there's gonna be rising inflation rates. That one of these days, I'm gonna have to run away from the police. I'm not gonna, like college is really fucking pointless. Because for one, I'll just be doing 2 more years of financial dependence. Secondly, they'll eventually do away with this American dollar and move to a centralized digital currency, and then push in the microchip. So this stuff is not gonna. This stuff, like I'm not gonna be able. It's not like I'm okay. I'm gonna go to college for 2 years and then I'm gonna go get a job and then for another 10 years. No, no. It's this stuff is gonna come now, man. This stuff is now, bro. They've already had that stuff with the paraplegics. My mother mentioned it. So that stuff is coming. Microchipping paraplegics and people that are special ed to help them walk and move. That's come on the news, and microchipping their brains. So this stuff is now. It's not tomorrow. It's not 10 years from now. This stuff is now. I remember seeing some other videos, other guys put out, economic guys talking about, there's economic collapse coming in 30 days. Not tomorrow, not next week, 30 days. That's fucking really bad. All right. That's it's coming, man. It's coming. Okay. And Yahweh Shai has come back to set not peace but variance. Okay. I'm actually gonna go here. I got some more scriptures. All right. So I wanted to go talk about this because the Most High Yahweh is all about the vision. Okay. So 13. Yeah, this is kind of a long one. But I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. So verse 9. Actually, yeah, we're gonna read the whole thing. This is gonna be a long one, so get ready. Matthew 13, verse 1. That same day went Yahushua out of the house and sat by the seaside, and great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went unto a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow, and when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Some fell upon stony places, where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, because they had no root, and they withered away, having no foundation. Okay? And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. Of course, the way I see it, getting with these other Israelite camps, the ones that say, yeah, it's okay to go rap during the Passover, such as one body. All right? Absolutely terrible. And the others fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. All right, it's a good ground. I gotta be honest, man. That's a Great Millstone and Great Millstone affiliates. You got those. The Great Millstone is just solid brothers, man. Everything through the Holy Spirit, but the brothers just solid. The Spirit just came upon them, and those brothers they do it all. I mean, you got channels about everything. I mean, I found stuff on L. Ron Hubbard, on him in GMS, on a GMS video. I mean, they just any topic you're thinking of, they hit it. Especially, it's just everything: conspiracies, science, math, economics. Not really math, but science, economics. You name it, man. Even videos on dinosaurs. All right. So I believe that this truth is good ground, man. This is an excellent place to have a foundation in. And even on my channel, I try to do videos on things that other brothers aren't doing. I try to get my own niche. I try to do military news from time to time. It's all about everyone having their own little corner. Helping and pushing this word out to the best of their ability. Um, who out there is okay, yeah. But others fell to good ground, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. Who out the ears to hear, let him hear. When the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. Exactly. This is the mysteries. Division. That only a certain number. Okay, not everyone is going to make it, man. This first go round, they're going to come back. These Israelites are going to come back in the reincarnation, but not everyone is going to make it the first go round. All right, because the Most High Yahweh is about division. All right, there's going to be order as well in the kingdom of heaven. There's going to be a governing body. All right, Yahweh Shai, King David, the 144,000, the elect chosen, which isn't actually 144,000. It just means the number of completion, the complete number. So those elect brothers are going to be under King David, and then under them are going to be the great multitude. There's going to be those 2/3 coming back in that reincarnation, And the disciples said unto them, speaks thou unto them in parables. Whosoever, skip to verse 12, for whosoever hath to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away, even that he hath. So whoever has what? Truth. Okay, whoever doesn't have it, he's going to be taken away even what he has, his life. Oh, come on, man. Good Lord, man. Of course, while I'm recording and trying to make a video, then people gotta call me. Man, it is what it is. Alright, so I speak to them in parables because they see and not, and hear, and they hear not, neither do they understand. And though we filled by the prophecy of Isaiah, by saying, by hearing you shall hear, and shall not understand, seeing you shall see, and not perceive. For this people's heart is wax close, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes have closed. Lest at any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, they should understand with their heart, they should be converted, and I should heal them. But blessed are your ears, or blessed are your eyes for they see, and your ears for they hear. For I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have decided to see those things which you see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear, and have not heard them. Exactly. I don't really think I need to go into that, man. Many prophets on many sides would really want to see us on the left-hand side, would just love to know, be able to understand these breakdowns, Even these guys in these other camps would probably love to hear this and be able to perceive and understand, but they can't because, it's all about division. Yahweh is the power of division. Okay, but my point was, Most High is about division. Households divided, and the Most High is about division. Okay. Matthew chapter 7, verse 6: Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye pearls before swine, lest they trample them under your feet and turn again and rend you. My point, it sounds a little bit harsh, but that's the way you got to deal with your parents. When you have unbelieving parents, you can't cast your pearls before them. Don't give holy things unto them, especially if they're unbelievers, because they just can't believe. So they're just it's just to argue and argue and argue and argue, and it's just at this point for me, I'm just focusing on making my bag, man. I'm just trying to get the fuck out of here, man, because this shit's fucking madness, I want to, it's poison. It's poison to be around a fucking unbeliever. They're selfish. Okay, they want to have every day be about them. They want to have birthdays and Christmases. They want to have everything be about fucking them. And it's fucking annoying. And even when they do make a so-called sacrifice for your sake, okay, it all goes back so they can gloat anyway. All right, it's just fucking annoying. Whenever you have a grievance or you have a complaint and it's heartfelt and in the right place, like for me, in my example, I just want, to get a job. I don't want to go to university because it's just wasting my time. At least if I go get a job, I'll at least have some sort of income. I'll at least have, even if I'm making $20,000 a year or $40,000 a year, if I save that over some time, right? Because I'm not gonna just have the same job forever. Eventually, I'll be promoted because I don't have like no credentials. I mean, I got some college experience. Even if I'm making something like $40,000 or $50,000 a year, that's still, you know, and like cut that, because you're not gonna make exactly $50,000 a year, and I'm gonna spend money eventually. I'm gonna have to buy groceries, so like, say that's like, I don't know, $30,000, $45,000 a year. All right, that's good. That's good stuff. You know. Once again, don't waste your time. Cause it's a waste of time talking to him. Because once I said, once again, you know. But going back to the original point, which is about the economy, how kids are living at home with their parents. Okay, this is Matthew. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. Exactly, because no one's gonna want the money in these last days. All right, no one's gonna want the money. Have you ever heard about the Weimar Republic? There's a story that a guy had a wheelbarrow full of money, and he parked the wheelbarrow and went inside the store. Slovakia went inside the store to get some food, and when he came out the store, they left the money. They took the money and put it on the ground, but they took the wheelbarrow. So at these times, people are gonna want the things. They're not gonna want the money because the money is pointless. If the money can't buy shit, it's pointless. So yeah, the point is the economy's failing big time. It's over. This society is over big time. You should be happy, okay? Because with these kids staying at home, it's just gonna create more division and variance between the parents. Not just in my household, me being in the truth and everyone else not being in the truth, everyone else being carnal, everyone else wanted to celebrate pagan deities. Even though I explained to them, I've broken everything down to them. I told them, about Anton LaVey and his quotes. He said he's so glad that kids can worship Satan at least one point in their life, aka their birthday. I've explained to them how the early Christians actually didn't celebrate their birthdays, and they actually hated the day that they were born. They actually ruled the day they were born. Okay, I mean, you even look at our elders and apostles of great Nostal, who are an example to us, right? They don't know their birthdays. They just tell you an approximate, like how old they are. I believe Elder Apostle Tahar said it's been so long since he celebrated a birthday that he doesn't know. He doesn't know. So he may be 40. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, he never told us. And other brothers, they don't really remember their ages like that either. Even me, I'm only like, what? I stopped celebrating birthdays when I was like 18. So, I just round up and I say, yeah, I'm just 20. I just round it up, because I'm not doing all that counting, and I don't count my birthdays. So this is Genesis chapter 47, verse 13. There's no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by the reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money to Pharaoh's house. And when money failed in the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came to Joseph and said, "Give us bread, for why should we die in our presence, for the money faileth?" What does it mean when the money faileth? It means you don't mean shit no more. Because there's a famine and people want the food. Okay, what point does the money have? All right, because all money is, the value of money is originally is supposed to be agreed upon value. Okay, so whether it's sticks and stones or seashells, many kingdoms have had seashells as economic currency, right? It's just something agreed upon form of currency used to exchange for various goods and services. Okay, but now when those goods, right, such as food, are unavailable due to a famine or due to now today slower economic trade, which creates food shortages, as well as other things in our country such as unemployment benefits, and people just opting to be on unemployment than to work a job, you know, as well as many other factors. People kind of getting tired of the hamster wheel of debt. Of getting money and then paying it back and getting money and living paycheck to paycheck. People want to have freedom. I mean, everyone wants that. Even the Edomites are starting to cry out against their masters, against their kings. Like they're tired of this shit, and the money's just getting more and more pointless. Eventually, when those big famines come, and those cyber attacks come, and blackouts come, all right, people aren't gonna want the money. No one's gonna go into your house and steal your reserve notes. They're gonna want the things. If you got I don't know, computer, they might want your computer. If they got I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck you're gonna use a computer for. But I guess someone always wants a computer. There'll always be a way to have some internet, even in these and even in the final apocalyptic days. But they're gonna want the things. If you got food, they want your food. It's gonna be food, really. Clothing, they want that. Food, clothing. If you got shelter, they might try to kick you out your house. That's why, in my opinion, however Yahweh chooses to move me in those days, I pray that I'd be able to be on the run. If I could just have just squat. Have a little squat. Squat in different places. And if I'm running, I might squat in a mechanic shop, a broken down mechanic shop for a day, then get up and go leave. And I might squat in another place tomorrow, and just be moving day to day, just not being in one spot. I think that's, in my opinion, I think that's best, because sitting in one spot, eventually people will figure out that, hey, there's a nigga in there, and they're gonna try to get you, all right? And if you ever played a game like Fallout New Vegas, which is, I believe, is a piece of predictive programming, you'll see that you're gonna have bug outs in those last days, and if you're in one spot, they're gonna try to get you. All right, so that's all I got. Of course, I'm gonna say call like Howell, Lashimi Hawashai, Wahakadash Wakao Brakata. All right, Shalom. To be continued.